What if the only thing holding you back is the seals of your own imagination? What if your dreams aren't too big, but far too small? Look around. Every skyscraper, every rocket, every line of code that bends reality started as a thought in someone's mind. And yet, most people confine themselves to cages built of modest ambition. They whisper to themselves, maybe if I work hard, I'll get by. But survival was never the destiny of giants. Survival was never the blueprint of visionaries. Survival is the language of the ordinary. Elon Musk once said, when something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. Think about that. He didn't say when it's easy. He didn't say when the risk is low. He said when it matters. Because the truth is, most people don't fail because they aim too high and miss. They fail because they aim too low and hit. That is the quiet tragedy of small goals. They starve the soul, they kill the fire, they suffocate the very force that makes you human. The hunger to create, to expand, to reach beyond what anyone thought possible. History doesn't remember the man who aimed for comfort. History remembered the one who shattered the impossible. Edison failed 10,000 times before the light bulb glowed. Lincoln was defeated in election after election before he held a nation together. Musk poured his last fortune into rockets that exploded in the sky while the world laughed. Until one soared and rewrote destiny. Do you see the pattern? Greatness is not reserved for the chosen few. Greatness belongs to those who dare to be ridiculed for wanting too much. Greatness bows to those who are unreasonable in their demands of life. But here's the paradox. Small goals feel safe. They feel rational. They soothe the mind with comfort, but that comfort is the coffin of progress. You weren't born to crawl under ceilings you built yourself. You were born to pierce through atmospheres, to hunt moonshots, to erase limits until even the stars look small. And yet, every day people shrink their potential, trading their fire for crumbs of convenience. They choose predictability over possibility. They say, at least I didn't fail. But in truth, they failed the moment they settled. A man aiming for the moon may land among the stars, but the man aiming for mediocrity will never leave the ground. That is the curse of small goals. They guarantee small lives. Ask yourself, what are you chasing right now? Is it a vision that terrifies you, that wakes you in the night, that demands more from you than you think you can give? Or is it a tidy little box that keeps you comfortable, unnoticed, unseen, forgotten? The human spirit was designed for pressure. Diamonds are born in fire. Rockets break the earth by resisting gravity. You are no different. Your strength awakens under the weight of dreams so heavy they make your knees tremble. That's where greatness begins, not in safety, not in certainty, but in audacity. So let me challenge you right now. If your goals don't make you laugh nervously, if they don't make others call you insane, they are not big enough. If your goals can be achieved without transformation, without blood, without sleepless nights, they are not worthy of you. Stop asking, what's realistic? Realism is a chain. Ask instead, what will bend the world? Because only that question will summon the power you buried under years of caution. The world does not move forward because of the timid. It moves forward because of those who refuse to accept limits, who choose moonshots over mediocrity. Musk didn't build Tesla because he wanted a car company. He built it because he wanted to end humanity's addiction to oil. He didn't chase rockets because it was profitable. He chased rockets because he refused to let humanity rot on one planet. These are not small goals. These are visions so immense they force growth. They summon armies of believers. They pull the future into existence. And so the question returns to you. What will you chase? Will you chase a paycheck? Or will you chase a vision that tears through the fabric of impossibility? Will you shrink to fit the world, or expand until the world has no choice but to fit you? Because the truth is this: small goals may give you comfort, But only moonshots give you freedom. Freedom from regret, freedom from mediocrity, freedom from the haunting whisper that you could have been more. And when you finally stand at the end of your days, it won't matter if you missed 1,000 times. It will matter that you dared to aim. The clock is ticking. The stars are waiting. The universe bends to those who chase moonshots and erase limits. So stand up, lift your eyes, refuse this small life, and remember this: the only true failure is not dreaming big enough. Every era is defined not by those who played it safe, but by those who were reckless enough to demand the impossible. Think of the Wright brothers. Two men in a bicycle shop, obsessed with wings and engines, laughed at by the world. People mocked them, called them fools, insisted man was not meant to fly. And yet, one windy day at Kitty Hawk, the world was forced to eat its words. Because when the human spirit decides to leap, the universe has no choice but to make room. But here's the unspoken law of moonshots. They demand sacrifice. They demand that you give up the shallow comforts that small goals provide. Do you want freedom or do you want comfort? You cannot have both. Freedom is born from discipline, from audacity, from nights when the world is sleeping and you are still burning. Musk didn't become Musk because he sought balance. He became Musk because he lived in imbalance, where vision outweighed comfort, when mission outweighed safety, where the dream consumed him more than the doubt that tried to break him. The world whispers, be realistic. But realism is the death sentence of vision. Realism is the excuse of the 99%. Do you know why small goals feel so tempting? Because they can be measured, achieved, ticked off like boxes on a list. But moonshots, they terrify, they expose you, they demand that you fail again and again, until failure itself becomes fuel. They require a kind of faith the average man cannot stomach. And that's why the average man stays average. But you, if you're listening to these words, you are not here for average. You are here because something inside you is restless. Something inside you refuses to accept the script handed to you by society. That restlessness is not a flaw. It is your compass. It is the whisper of destiny calling you toward a life most people cannot imagine. The question is not whether you can achieve it. The question is whether you have the courage to endure the storm that comes with chasing it. Because here's the truth. Moonshots are merciless teachers. They will break you down. They will strip you of your ego, of your illusions, of your excuses. They will demand that you stand naked before your own fear. But in that breaking, you will be rebuilt. You will be reforged into a creature stronger than the man who first dared to dream. That is why small goals are poison. They never force you into metamorphosis. They never tear you apart so you can be reborn. They only keep you comfortable, stagnant, unchanged. You must ask yourself, do I want to be remembered or do I want to be forgotten? Because the forgotten all had small goals. They lived quiet lives of quiet desperation, settling for less, never daring to burn. The remembered, the ones etched in stone, carved into history, are the ones who said, I refuse to settle. I refuse to aim low. I will stretch until I tear. Look at Musk standing on the edge of bankruptcy, pouring his last millions into rockets that detonated in midair. Any rational man would have stopped. But moonshot chasers are not rational. They are possessed. And because of that possession, because of that fire, the same man who nearly lost everything now builds vehicles that may carry us to Mars. And that is the question the universe asks you today. What will you risk? Will you risk your comfort? Will you risk your reputation? Will you risk being misunderstood, mocked, doubted, called insane? Because only then, only under that weight will the greatness within you awaken. Small goals cannot awaken greatness. Only impossible goals can. Small goals give you results. Impossible goals give you transformation. And transformation, not safety, is what your soul craves. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't ask yourself what is achievable. Ask yourself what will force me to evolve? What will demand that I burn the old version of myself to ash and rise again? Because that is the only path to freedom. You're not here to play it small. You're here to bend reality. You're here to stretch the limits of what humanity believes is possible. The question is not, can you? The question is, will you? The future belongs to those who chase moonshots and erase limits. The future boasts to those who choose the terrifying path of the extraordinary over the comfortable lie of the ordinary. So decide, right now, do you want to die safe or live remembered? Good. Now feel the weight of this moment pressing against your chest. This is not a speech. This is not advice. This is the awakening of your soul. Every excuse you've whispered to yourself, every comfort you've clung to, every fear you've allowed to cage your potential, it ends now. The universe is impartial. Binkuldeep, it does not reward good intentions. It does not honor safety. It rewards boldness, relentlessness, and those willing to endure the fire of transformation. Because the life you dream of, the ventures, the breakthroughs, the impact that leaves others in awe. The life is not waiting politely. It does not arrive at your convenience. It demands war. It demands sacrifice. It demands that you shatter the self-imposed limits you cling to like chains. The man who built rockets that pierce the sky, the woman who cures diseases thought untreatable, the innovator who bends reality, all of them started in chaos, staring at the abyss, heart-hammering, soul ablaze, and they said, I will not retreat. And now it is your turn. Will you fold under the comfort of mediocrity, or will you rise and claim the impossible? Small goals will give you temporary satisfaction. They will lull you into believing that effort equals success. But you know better. True growth, true dominion, comes from chasing the moonshots that terrify you. It comes from staring at the storm of life and saying, I will bend reality to my will. Every obstacle you face is a sculptor, carving you into the bus and capable of achieving what others cannot even imagine. Every failure is an ignition, fueling the furnace within you that will one day roar with triumph. Fear is the hammer, doubt is the chisel. But you are the master artisan. You are here to forge your destiny. Hear this now, the 99% live in shadows, but you, if you are listening, if you are awake, have already glimpsed the light. Do not squander it. Dominate your minutes, your hours, your days. Exploit the chaos, command the uncertainty, and let every second be a brick in the monument of your legacy. The world does not care who you are. It only responds to what you do, to the audacity of your action, to the magnitude of your will. So rise, burn, leap, build, fail, learn, conquer, repeat. Let your ambitions be so colossal that even the horizon bends in awe. Let your courage be so relentless that fear dares not follow. Let your legacy be written in the annals of time, not whispered in forgotten corners. Because one day, the world will stop. And when it does, it will measure you not by how careful you were, but by how unstoppable you became. Not by the comfort you clung to, but by the limits you shattered. Not by the life you played safe in, but by the empire you built when others were too timid to try. Your time is now. The fire that burns inside you is the compass. Your moonshot is the mission. Every fiber of your being is designed to transcend the ordinary. Stop asking permission. Stop waiting for clarity. Stop shrinking from the audacity that pulses within your veins. The universe will not hand you greatness, you must take it. And when you do, when you finally leap beyond what you thought possible, when you stare at the impossible and smile because you made it inevitable, you will know what it means to truly live. Not in comfort, not in mediocrity, not in the shallow safety of small goals, but in the brilliant, blinding glory of the extraordinary. The 99% will never understand. They never will. They will tremble in the shadow of your ambition. Call it reckless, call it madness. But you will know the truth, that madness is merely the sanity of the extraordinary mind. that fear is merely the doorway to freedom, that limits exist only to be broken. So step forward, burn the old maps, shatter the safe paths, command your destiny, build the impossible, become the storm that bends the world to your vision. Because you're not here to exist, you're here to dominate, to create, to leave a mark so bold, so eternal, that history itself will pause in reverence. This is your life, your moonshot, your empire, your legend, and it begins now.